Hello everyone and welcome to Touhou 16 Not Perfect Extra Stage. So we're going to go ahead and play through the extra, and we're going to go as Aya because I've already done Reimu and I want to play as someone not Reimu. I'm on about take 5 or 6 now. Actually, I think it's more than that. But this time we're going to try and not go for perfect because I know if I go for perfect I'm never going to finish. So we're just going to go ahead and play. You can only choose one of the seasons, so that's that. Alright. So the stage starts off with stuff aiming upwards. Yeah, because why not? So the extra sub shot can only shoot from behind, so you need to keep that in mind. Now if you're playing as Aya on this part, you can risk a POC because you can move up really fast. So if you want to get these items, which you really should go for, and it's a little bit luck based because the enemies fire randomly really quickly, but it's always something I do because I want to try to get the items. So yeah, just try to kill them as much as you can, and then POC whenever you can, ideally after you've killed a lot of one side's enemies. Then go back to the other side, kill a bunch of enemies on that side, and try to POC again. Then immediately go to the left or the right because you'll want to kill that fairy as soon as it spawns, and then you'll want to kill the other one. Alright, and now for a yin-yang part, which is really frustrating to POC on. The first wave is easy to POC, but for some reason as it goes on, it gets progressively harder to POC, and you'll end up missing the POC, and then as soon as you let all these enemies fire, you're basically screwed. You need to kill them as best as you can, except it's just really hard to get all the items on that part, and I don't really manage it all the time. Actually, I don't think I've ever managed to get all the items there. Maybe as Reimu, but I don't remember Aya too well. Anyway, our mid-boss is going to be Satono and Mai, and the first spell card could be cheesed by using your behind shot to shotgun. Yeah, the behind shot has a lot of shotgun type functions, and you're gonna use a lot on this stage. So on the second spell, you need to be really aggressive in killing these enemies. Really aggressive. You don't want them to live at all. Just kill them as much as you can, kill them as best as you can, and you know, try to damage the boss too while you can, but yeah, use your behind shot, and then once you've done a lot of damage, then you can shotgun the boss and finish her off, but only after you've already damaged her, because if you try to shotgun from the beginning, you're going to risk it all, and you might die. As for the spell card, it's really trivial if you're on the left side. The amulet lanes are very obvious. They'll go from left to right at first, and then right to left on the second wave, then rinse and repeat. So really, it's just going in a green lane and then streaming. It's really easy. Now with Aya, you can go ahead and make your way to about this part on the screen and then just stay focused and nothing can hit you. Your piercing shots will eliminate all the enemies as they go over to the middle, and they won't be able to wall off the middle, and you'll also get to get all of the items. So yeah, you can just completely trivialize this part as Aya. And then immediately make your way down to the screen and start killing these fairies that are about to appear, because these fairies are super annoying. Now a trick here is that the closer you are to the bottom, the faster you'll kill them because the more damage you'll do to them. You'll need to watch out because if you go low on the screen, you risk getting hit by stray bullets that get covered up by your own shot. But thankfully it's not too hard. Now the next section is going to be a streaming section, which is a little bit weird because it's all coming from behind. And the way you actually want to restream it is by doing this. Yeah, it looks really weird, but it's really effective. And then once you've done that, then you get ready for the end of the stage. So for the end of the stage, you'll want to kill the middle fairies and move to the left. My X and an N strat for this part was really bad, honestly. So use this strat instead. I learned that one from Jamers. Alright, so our boss is gonna be Okina. Yeah, I don't know why, but Zuna's been liking to stick his stage 6 bosses in the extra stage since LOLK, and this time he just decided to reuse the boss. it makes sense with the plot, and it was a unique thing. I mean, it's not like this is the first time Zune has done that. I mean, in the PC98 games, basically, Story Beast in Wonderland and Mystic Square both reused characters for their extra boss, so it isn't really a new thing. It's just a new thing to the Windows games. Before you make a comment, yes, I'm counting SOEW, even if it's a little bit different. I can't talk! Ah! Anyway, I'm not going to comment on whether I like or dislike this. I'm just going to leave it at that and go ahead and fight the boss, who actually does have an awesome theme. So, yep, Okina round 2. All of her nons can be safe spotted, but I'm not going to do that because I don't know how to do it, and I don't really care to learn, because they're not really that hard anyway. Now then, the first spell card is probably going to remind you of an extra spell card in Mystic Square, because it's very similar, or at least it has some traits of it. Did I say spell card in Mystic Square? There are no spell cards in Piece 98. Ah, whatever. Anyway, you just want to dodge one wave at a time, if that wasn't obvious enough. Aight. Now the second non is going to be a little bit more curvier than the first non, but I'd argue that even makes it easier for some reason. I don't know why. Actually, no, I take that back. That was a weird dodge I had to make there. Alright, now on the second spell, you can shotgun Okina at the start, but immediately start killing enemies because unless you're Reimu, you're not going to be able to get away with only shotgunning Okina. Also, she's going to fire a stupid star ring, like, mid through the spell, and if you don't know that's coming, and you try to, like, shotgun her, you're going to die because you didn't know about the star ring, and she's going to fire it in your face like a mean bully, because she is kind of a bully. Honestly, I don't know how to do this spell as non-Reimu, so I'm just kind of improvising. So I captured it here, but I don't really know if that's a good strategy, so don't take my word for it. I don't care enough to really learn optimal strategies for this stage, especially since Reimu could just cheese the entire thing. Alright, on this spell you want to stay like on the bottom of the spell circle because that's the limit to where the green things can go. And then just try to do left and right dodging if you can. Try not to move too much upward because you risk hitting Okina herself. But this spell is also very random and it doesn't give you a lot of space to move in, so the game really can screw you if it wants to, which is kind of annoying. Anyway, I said this stage was like one of the easiest extra stages, and I still think it's pretty light, but I also know that if you're not Reimu, then you're gonna have you might have a lot of troubles with it, because there are some things that are significantly more difficult if you're a non-Reimu shot. I was surprised when I did my test run. It's not like the hardest thing ever, but it isn't a joke. Alright, so this spell is gonna force you to use your behind shots to hit her. Oh yeah, and then on this non, she's gonna start it at the bottom, so go to like the side or something, and then make your way down. Yeah. Looks like she follows you. Interesting. Or maybe that was a coincidence that she kept moving in the direction I was going. I don't really know. Anyway, once you actually get to the bottom, you should be safe. Alright, now this spell here, see, I don't know how to do this spell with non-Reimu, because this spell is like a circular streaming spell, but it feels like you can't damage it at all if you're not Reimu, so I don't know if this is one of those spells that Zune just expects you to time out, but, I mean... Oh, wow, what is it really? Oh, it changes direction. Yeah, I don't really know what you're expected to do on this one if you're not Reimu. It's such a weird spell. I don't really like it because it doesn't feel like you can really do much to it if you're not Reimu. I'm sure there must be some kind of strat that allows you to restream, but honestly, yeah, I could probably have spell practiced it, but I decided not to because I didn't care. Like, I didn't care enough to learn it. It didn't matter to me, so whatever. If you're Reimu, it's so easy because it'll die before the restream and you can home on it and kill it super fast, but I guess you're gonna have to learn some kind of dumb restream if you're not Reimu. Anyway, this spell is kinda cool because it reminds me of Hina, but it doesn't really have much going for it. You can just kinda dodge it in the middle, though if the middle gets dense, you can always go to the side. That's always an option. Ah, there's my signature sniffle nose. I will never go an episode without it. Alright, what's next? I forgot. I completely forgot. I think the next spell are the lasers and the stars. I can't confirm that though, but I'm pretty sure it's the lasers and the stars. Yeah, it is. So the lasers are going to aim depending on your angle to the boss. And the stars can actually be a little bit denser than you'll expect. So I'd almost recommend not trying to bottom hug because generally with patterns like these, if you bottom hug, you get walled easier, but if you move upwards, you can kind of push your way through bad situations. So and then the next one is probably going to be the one where she moves across the bottom of the screen. Then it's going to be the timeout. Then it's going to be the last spell. Yeah. So this one, it's very easy as Reimu, but I'd imagine as someone like Aya, it might be a little bit tricky. To be honest, I don't really see any reason to follow the boss, so I'm just kind of going to stay over here and damage what's in front of me. Yeah, you probably don't need to chase the boss in this one, as long as you're dodging the stuff that's coming from below you. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now for the timeout spell, there is some kind of weird trick where you can cheese it by staying at the bottom, but I don't like that method because it's scary to me, so I'm going to do it the proper way. So the laser itself will spawn on the side that you're on, so you can manipulate it, and basically the entire spell is just going from left to right, right to left, etc. That's all it is. You can even cheese it by using your release because she takes damage when you use your release. So you can end it super quickly, and I showed that in my Sisyphus is Broken video too. So the gimmick with this spell is that the laser moves further and gets faster every wave. And you also have like needles coming from behind, which is really obnoxious in my opinion, because sometimes they can spawn behind you, and I really hate that, but I mean, I guess it's static, so you could just memo it, but I don't really care to memo it. I just kind of sight read because the only other time I really played this extra was when on day one of the game's release, because I wanted to get that quick, perfect run before moving on. Didn't take long with Reimu, although Reimu's the only one I actually did it with. So yeah. The last wave is a bit spooky because it's really fast, but it's not too bad. Alright, now for the final spell. So this spell is kind of annoying as non-Reimu, because as non-Reimu, you're not going to be able to damage it very well. So I kind of hate that, but it doesn't really get that stupid until the final phase. And honestly, I don't think it's that bad, and it's just really annoying to damage. You do get the advantage of the behind shot, which does help you do good damage to the boss. Alright, so the third phase is where it starts getting a little bit tricky. Now, the trick for the third phase is don't make aggressive movements until the purple wave finishes passing you. So just kind of sit still and let the purple wave go through you, then make your big macro movements. If you try to make macro movements while the purple wave is overlapping you, you're gonna probably die. And the thing is that Okina moves very slowly, so you're never gonna have to worry about her catching up to you. So you can afford to wait before making dashes. In fact, rushing is a risky thing to do. Unless you're on the final phase, then I could maybe understand it, because the final phase gets a little bit intense. Um, the problem with the final phase is that in order to really effectively do it, you need to be moving really far away from her a lot, which means you're not going to be able to damage her very well, and it's going to last forever. At least if you want to do the spell safely, that is. You can be aggressive, but I did play aggressive as Reimu because I could get away with it, but with Aya, it's a little bit different. Well, Aya and friends, because anyone not Reimu is going to have that problem. However, as long as you're patient, you can still capture it. It's not like QED, and it's not like Nue's finals, so it's not that mighty. But there we go. That was Okina. A 1 miss, because I didn't want to learn that one spell. Alrighty. I guess that's a satisfactory run right there. Like, if the mistake was just me not wanting to learn one attack, and like that was on me. In fact, why don't we spend a little time in spell practice and try to capture that? Because I'm actually legitimately curious as to how that actually works. No need to save the replay. Yeah, I'm curious about that spell. Which one is it? Probably this one. Because my history is 0 out of 2. I did 1 test run and 1 LP run. Alright. So, we know that the purple bullets, red bullets, because I'm apparently colorblind, are aimed at you. Now, this should not be that hard to figure out because it's an extra stage spell. And if it takes a long time to figure out, I'll be kind of annoyed because, well, it's an extra stage. You shouldn't have that much time. This is really confusing. I'm really confused. I wonder if you even have to rotate. I mean, I think you can do some kind of restreaming. Also, going... No. Because if you were to have to do that, you'd have to cut through the lanes. I think I get what you're supposed to do, though. I get it. You're supposed to follow the lanes. I think you're supposed to be in this lane, the bigger lane. Actually, no, the lanes interchange, so... Alright, so once you go to the lane changes, make a big restream, and then just restream. Yeah. That's what Zune intended. Definitely. There's no doubt about it. And then on the second restream, are you going to be able to kill the boss? I don't know. It doesn't really feel like you can damage this attack, though, and I kind of don't like that. I mean, everything else dies pretty quickly, though, so I shouldn't be complaining in that sense. I still feel like there's, like, see, 59 seconds. Granted, I didn't have all my releases, or my release sub-shots, so my shot was weaker. I don't know. A weird spell. Really weird spell. Anyway. That was it. That was it for this game. I have nothing more to show. We went through the main game. We showed all of the seasons. We went through the extra stage. And we showed a few things in spell practice. I mean, I guess I could go through a run of the other final spells. The ones we didn't see. Because we played Fall, so we didn't see the other finals. So I can go ahead and play through them real quick. Although I won't go for captures because these are the types of spells that take you an eternity to capture. The summer one is a weird one where she goes around in this circle, but it gets really bullshit when she goes really low on the screen, and you're most likely going to die when she goes low on the screen, especially when the whole aimed component comes in. Yeah, there's an aimed component. So the thing becomes streaming, and you can do restreams, but the problem is when she goes low on the screen, you're gonna get screwed with not much you can do about it. And then you'll die to nothing because you're dumb, like me. Wow. And I didn't even get to the last phase. I showcased all of these on the Sisyphus is broken video though. So, I mean, I already have captures of these attacks on my channel. Yeah, I don't really want to go through a capture. You can see the, I mean, there's plenty of captures on YouTube if you're really that curious about it. And I'm sure everyone's already played them by now. And here's an attack that's harder than PDH. And I know for a fact because I can capture PDH within like maybe like 5 to 10 tries. Whereas with this spell, I'll capture it like once in 40 tries, once in 50 tries. It is just... there's not much I need to say, really. I think it speaks for itself. It really, really speaks for itself. This entire spell card is just one absolute meme. There's also Extreme Winter, which is the only tame one out of the final spells. Like, the fall one is tame as well, but the fall one is still tricky. The winter one, though, can be consistently done, though sometimes you might find that you'll get some really mean overlaps, so, I mean, you might not always capture it, but it ain't too bad. I was really afraid that I was going to lose an L and an N to this, but oh, thank God I didn't. I captured it on the one try that I needed to capture it in. It's not that hard outside of the final phase, but once it gets to the final phase, it gets very scary. Like, it's not that intense, but it just, it gets, I don't know how to explain it. I think I just really don't like those bullet types, those little Marasa droplets, and when you have a pattern that has a lot of them, it overwhelms. And then you've also got the big glow balls as well, and it's just, but I still like it compared to the other ones, because it is the most tame one, and it's the one that I feel like I can win at if I play, even though I died. I didn't really take it seriously though, so I'm gonna use that as my excuse. And that's it. That's all for the Windows games. At least the main ones. Next time, for Canon Mondays, I suppose we're gonna have to go look back at our roots of Touhou. Although I want to preface by saying I still haven't figured out how to record the PC98 games, because you can't really do them with DxTory. I heard that you can record them with OBS, but I don't really know the settings, so if anyone wants to offer me like a list of accurate HD settings, then I will gladly oblige. Although I guess I could just use the same quality as my streams, because my streams have pretty good quality, so I could just use those settings. I'll figure it out. I'll try to get the video up next Monday. I don't want to 100% promise that I can, because for some reason I might not be able to, but I am going to try, so yeah. Final thoughts? Sisyphus was a good game. LOLK is not. Sorry if you like LOLK.